Interesting point on Twitter, by the way. I want to talk about that, I guess, when we get some of the dead time. But before we do that, spawning in the bottom right corner of the map, he's down in the series. We'll see if we can turn it around. It's the green Zerg player, ViBE.
In the top left, as the red Zerg, it is NoRegret.
So, if you guys haven't been really keeping in touch, there's been a lot of discussions about things with Legacy of the Void, and namely one of the hot topics lately is actually the economy change being possibly tweaked or worked with. I mean, everyone's so focused on the unit balance. Only a very few people have even thought to consider the way the economy is really being changed, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not smart enough to fully understand the way Zermos had explained it, and I've yet to hear the recording of him explain it to Greetor, but you posted that you'd love to get the StarCraft, like the actual designers, the actual like planners and the guys who do the math and the number crunching on their side involved, and I gotta tell you, I would love for nothing more than that. No. But well, I guess I'll ask your opinion on this in a sec, but I do like that at the very least, like baby steps, right? Like Scion recently became a really kind of all-star of the community. We had no communication with Blizzard prior to him, really, right? Like it was just like nothing. Then Scion, and then maybe again baby steps we could get the developers involved. But I definitely think that would be really cool.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just, you know, there's always had like some type of argument against doing it, and still happening on Twitter. Like, you know, like if they come into a public forum and they're wrong, they're never going to let it down. People are just going to trust them. If they come into a public forum, they're going to get trolled. The thread will derail. Certainly valid points, but then apparently in their other games, they're doing something, they're being a lot more interactive with the community with Hearthstone and Heroes. So it's, I guess one part salty about just interaction in general, 2 parts salty about actually just not being transparent about economic changes and ideas and whatnot. But I guess that's it's more of a talk show segment, isn't it? We have an actual game on our hands.
Yeah, we actually have links coming out now too. So I just wanted to bring up the topic real quick because I wasn't sure if this was going to go to being aggressive once more, but no regrets. Not doing the top of 1 base at least, but he is going to hit ViBE pretty hard here early on. Now, it's worth noting that while he takes the gas a little bit later, he's not going to have that fast speed. He's not going to have that Baneling sort of cluster on his side. But, you know, for ViBE to see 6 lings like this, if nothing else, there's always the fear that ViBE may overreact.
Yeah, that is true. Or underreact and lose a queen.
True
I mean,
enough,
both
yeah.
are pretty valid and kind of scary. So getting 4 of your own plus a queen should be able to take care of this and not be worrisome. They're going to be able to run around your base for a while, which is always going to be annoying, but it limits what they can actually do. Now, I do have NoRegret going for a very fast Evo Chamber behind this, most likely for that +1 Carapace, so it's kind of a cool build, a different way to play the Ling style.
It looks like the queen should be okay if she just backs up a little bit. I mean, these lings absolutely get wrecked, and there's kind of a, in my opinion, a huge waste of them. Because if you see that that's not a fight that's going to go your way, maybe trade out a little bit, maybe kill a couple lings, but you just back away and control the map afterwards. He's instead going to go for the +1 melee weapon upgrades. Something we've seen cats do in the past. This not only will help you win the Zergling fights a little bit better, it will assist when fighting against roaches or even tearing down buildings. The question is, though, is ViBE going to let him get to that point? There's a long ways off, and ViBE at any moment now could get drones. We're getting up at that 5.5 minute mark, and those next larva injects very well may just be pure lings.
Yeah. Very cool. I mean, I would say if, you know, if one of these players had to get +1 melee weapons, I'd be like, you know, ViBE, right? Because his former teammate was cats.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's kind of funny seeing ViBE pick up that drone there.
But we do have ViBE going for his own Evo Chamber, so maybe he's going to get Carapace. And it's funny. I mean, the thing about Carapace is that it goes in the Roach game, you know? Right?
That's true. It's pretty hard to read this, right? You don't really know that that's... Like, you see it wiggling and jiggling, you don't know that that's not Carapace. He may assume that's the case, because it is. About 1,000,000 times more common to see Carapace in this matchup, and that alone is fairly rare, than it is to see melee upgrades, even.
Yeah, it really is. Well, let's see here. ViBE does have a much faster Baneling that's this time. And if he hits right now with these lings, then he might be hitting before the Baneling and that +1. And Melee Bob boost, like a complete, 180 from the last game where he was the one that was just barely not on time. Oh!
Speaking about being teammates with cats, there you go. He's going to go for the melee upgrades to try and match his opponent. A couple of the Banelings coming in should be able to give him a bit of an edge here at the start, but the real question is, where does that dedication go? You know, if you just waddle a couple in and get a little too overzealous, the queens focus him down. You don't need a spine crawler, but dancing around with the lings, taking some damage, backing away. And here comes the Banelings. Alright, so you really don't need the best connects in the world. The idea is, of course, you use these on either your opponent's Banelings or you hit a good Zergling cluster and you just kind of spiral ahead with that. He could control the top of the ramp here if he really wanted to, focus that queen down, but looks like he's going for the middle lines. Turns around, Baneling's coming at the top of that ramp, now 2 for him. He's got to watch out. Drone's getting pulled, but Baneling's for Banelings! Vibe's just got to be careful, doesn't lose too many of these lings.
Oh my god, that was just continuous line of almost there for ViBE, but didn't quite get it. He's making a couple of drones on the backside, it looks like.
The focus fire is really great out of NoRegret too. Make sure to take those Banelings down first and foremost, but ViBE doesn't really have a lot more power going behind this. +1 upgrades is done for his opponent now. I don't know if he's realized that because you don't typically click one ling in the middle of the heat of battle like this to see what your opponent's upgrades look like. Yeah. So ViBE's going to be a bit of a disadvantage anytime his lings fight with the lings, but the Banelings are still going to be very potent. That much does not change. Quite volatile.
ViBE, I guess neither player really, they're not going to stop building lings until they're absolutely certain their opponent has stopped, There's a couple of bad things going on for NoRegret where it's technically ViBE could just start trying to go around his one overlord because ViBE only has, NoRegret only has one overlord.
Yeah, but then you have to take the long way around. I don't know if that's.
Oh no, never mind. Oh my god, that green overlord was covering it. Just kidding.
Psych.
Oh my god. Okay, so then he does know. Like that's really important that you know if they're going to continue making lings, so you can make your own lings. Of course, that's how ZVZ works. But then, good thing this. I should have seen it with the old model of the minimap, right?
Well, if only they had things more transparent, we'd be able to tell that there's 2 units overlapping. And
oh my god.
No, I'm not even gonna go down that path. Quinn's gonna come and try to block out the ramp. That might give way for the Banelings to waddle in, but at the same time, NoRegret might not turn around. He might just go full bore across the map. ViBE's left a lot of lings at home anticipating this. And, Baneling's starting to go off in the middle lines. Gets about 7 drone kills at a quick estimates. Ling's not doing too badly now that he has 1+1 to trade out with this, but that's that Ling lead, or the drone lead, pardon me. But, okay, does this get turned around? Some Banelings heading towards the main. ViBE not really focusing a lot of this down. If he's not paying attention, 2 Banelings are all you need to get through. Turns around, hits those lings. Queen has got a focus fire. If he's just hoping on chance, it's not going to work. He gets these really low, then those queens. Oh! Do manage to get the shots necessary. 1 goes down in the main, but that's fine because he's taking out the Banelings. He'll clean up these lings. And now ViBE has a pretty stern worker lead.
Yeah, up by 7 right now. The game isn't quite over as they're both still basically all inning each other. It's the first one to break is probably going to lose. There ViBE goes.
Oh, that's so risky. He didn't know how when those started making. So.
Right? Yeah, and he's making a couple more drones. It looks like he's thinking his counterattack is going to be able to keep NoRegret on his side of the map long enough to really get away with a couple more drones here and there. Queen's, of course, coming on the way. He did lose the one in the main. I don't know if he noticed his counterattack, but now he does. The overlord finally sees it.
There's more lings coming out, but they're not going to be enough to hold this. Spine Call are going to have to get transfused at least once, but perhaps not paying attention because on the other side of the map, I guess a Banling went off. Oh no, his lings just backed away. I take that back. Bit of panic. But the Spine Call does go down, the Queens do go down. Now ViBE's going to start losing some of his lings. And the Banelings are looking for the hits here in the natural base. NoRegret just looking to be in a pretty good spot right now. He's evened up that worker count. He's got more units on the field than his opponents. And ViBE, he's got pretty much nothing here in the main to hold with. Queen's not really in a safe spot. 3 lings with surface area do connect. This +1 upgrade is working out really nicely. And despite how much he's trying on the other side of the map, he's not getting any kills with those lings. He's hurting a lot of drones. He's hurting a lot of queens, but nothing actually dies.
NoRegret doesn't even look like he's at 18 drones. Looks like he's like 9. Jeez. But of course, he is spread out evenly on both bases, where ViBE did consolidate all of his drones back into that main base, being a little less scary in case NoRegret tried to go around all the overlords again. That was a tricky move that did work out for NoRegret. That was definitely something to keep him back in this game because he was going to be like 10 drones down, but now it's back to even, and they're still just making as many lings as possible. The 2 drone difference could be made up for the fact that ViBE has lost queens, I think, more than NoRegret has.
Yeah, it was going to be pretty hard to replace those queens too if he had to keep pumping out lings like crazy. Without those injects, you would just fall behind. Now, neither player's really taken such a game-ending Baneling hit just yet. It's NoRegret who's really going to take that first shot, but ViBE as well can fall susceptible to that Baneling. Never mind, dodges it really nicely. No one coming down on top of the ramp. Oh, he could focus it down. Does focus it down. Queen exposed once again, and oh, she just wishes so badly she could focus down those Banelings before they get up that ramp. Ramp at the top, though, does catch NoRegret off guard, and the volatility of ZVZ really shining through right now.
Yeah, that was actually really devastating. The army count was still one where either player could, his Baneling could definitely turn the tide, and unfortunately for NoRegret, it was ViBE's Baneling that did that. So now ViBE, a little bit of drone lead. He has 2 extra queens, I believe, or maybe just 1 extra, but that's going to be helpful in the defense, and the backup queen for injects should NoRegret get that snipe off again.
You know, it's been so hectic. Neither player's really been able to afford getting +1 carapace behind this. Oh, no, ViBE just lost a lot of his lings that were reinforcing across the map. He's got a lot of banelings back at home. Nothing that's in too much danger, but this is good for the defense. This is what he needs. But, you know, you pointed out they've been on similar worker count, but ViBE's been on one base. So he's not really had the same... I guess now the income's kind of even. NoRegret takes another hit to that natural base, but ViBE's never really been in a position where he's been using that drone advantage to a huge degree.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he will hold once again. Are those banelings coming in? No, it's more lings. 2 queens on the ramp should be more than okay. Chasing off onto the overlord is going to supply block NoRegret if he's not careful. Just kidding. Wait, nobody has any units and no supply.
just kidding. I was kind of wondering what was going on because ViBE was not producing any lings. I guess he was waiting to see if his queens alone could take on whatever NoRegret has to throw at him. But there we go, 16 more lings about to pop out to help this. NoRegret's not going to stop. I think NoRegret realizes that he still has to kill a few more drones before it is back to even. This game's been back and forth. You know, ViBE though has been usually the one on top of the drones, but then he's suddenly back below. But 7 more drones on the way, so I don't know.
I'm just flabbergasted that anyone has breathing room to get drones. This has been almost 15 minutes straight of just Ling Bane trading out. This is one of the most stressful ways to play this matchup, much less play it out for this long. Like, kudos and credits go to both players, but I am sure neither of them have had to engage this dedicated for this long in many games. This is not your average ZVZ.
No, it's been a long time since like 16-minute Ling Baneling. I mean, this is back when people just did not know how to transition to roaches. They were just like, "What do? I'm gonna die if I do that. Let's just stick here."
No,
oh,
they like.
How did they do that?
He gave that Baneling a kiss, man. Oh, those ones too. ViBE is just asking for trouble. Now looking for some kills here. Obviously, he wants to go for a couple drone kills. Every drone counts in a big way. Queens are probably the best targets, but hardest to get. We do have some slip by into the main drones getting pulled to keep this queen alive. I don't know why, because there's lings right bloody there. But ViBE is focusing on the other side of the map. Gets a couple more drone kills. He's on an 8 drone lead now. But scary as this may be, we're actually at this point where both players are starting to mine out their mains. This should never happen. Right?
Yeah.
Banelings and the queen's going to hold here really nicely at the front of the base. I mean, ViBE with those 4 queens, it's a risky, a dangerous investment, but it's really paid off. Constant transfuses, constant snipes on the opponent's banelings. I mean, there's a couple lings slipping by here and there, but nothing he can't clean up with his own lings if they get out of the main. Oh, 3 banelings coming up that ramp, though. ViBE not paying attention. Neither's NoRegret, though. What's going on with this ramp? Oh, the god.
It was so weird. They just
it was so stupid. That may have been the throw. That may have been the throw, guys. ViBE now down by a lot of workers. He doesn't have that Ling counterattack set up like he has all game. And while he does have that transition to roaches, I'm not sure that's going to cover a 10 worker deficit. It's not the same difference of having 25 drones versus 35. It is 13 versus 26. It's just such a low count.
Yeah, and he did just go into units that were just, you know, they're not as, you can't get lucky shots with roaches, you know, but you can get lucky shots with banelings. Exactly this is the story of this 19-minute long ZBZ. It's like getting lucky shots with banelings. Roaches just don't give you that luck factor anymore, and it's just going to be numbers as numbers. Yeah,
and the real thing too is, like, before everyone starts giving ViBE a bunch of crap for that move on the ramp, again, the intensity, the high stress on both of these players for 20 minutes straight almost, you can totally understand a mistake like that getting made. But with these roaches coming out, you're right, like, this can snipe banelings, this can do a lot of damage, and normally these are no good because the lings will surround him with +1 weapon upgrades, tear him down. But he's assisted by banelings, he's assisted by his own lings, and this might be ViBE's best and only chance to win this game. I don't think there's any more droning out of this for him.
Yeah, he was planning on going for Roach Baneling all lane, even if he had the drones, you know, it's going to be the kill move. Here, it's still a kill move, but it's definitely a more desperate one. Now, the counterattack did get set up for NoRegret. It's probably the best move that he could have done.
Oh, but the Banelings cleaned it up.
Defensive Banelings. The defensive Banelings take him out either. ViBE, I think he's going to pull through with just, you know, roaches and Banelings, you know?
Jones getting pulled into 2 Banelings, so big hit goes off. That takes out half that worker line. Goes to the main. GG, ladies and gentlemen, ViBE ties up the series 1-1.
Oh man, I don't know, like,